everyone, my name is Surya Rahma Putri and I'm a student of English Department at University of PGRI Jombang. Today I'm really excited to share with you 5 incredible short stories that I'll be reviewing. These are not just any stories, they each have unique themes, fascinating characters, and valuable life lessons that are still relevant today. The stories I've choose is the fable of the prisoner who flew his kite, but not because he was to do so, by Jared's age. The Veteran by Stephen Crane, Beautiful of Form and Beautiful of Mind by Hans Christian Andersen, The Luck by Guy de Maupassant, and the last A Wedding Gift by Guy de Maupassant. Stay tuned and let's get into these amazing short stories. Okay, the first story is the fable of the prisoner who flew the kite, but not because he was to do so by George VIII in 1899. The character in this story is the prior's a man who is initially frustrated by his congregation lack of enthusiasm and engagement with his sermons. He's aware that people are mocking him behind his back, calling him a coward, and finding his sermons dull. This drives him to make a drastic change in his approach, using obscure quotes and complex language to appear wise and intellectual, even though the content is largely fabricated. The plot revolves around the prior's realization that his congregation is bored with his straightforward sermons. After a period of self-reflection, he decides to change his preaching style by introducing obscure and difficult to understand content, including quotes from non-existent historical figures and passages in Greek. Surprisingly, this tactic works. The congregation, not wanting to appear ignorant, feigns understanding and reverence, becoming captivated by the prior's new style. The priors ultimately realize that the appearance of wisdom and complexity is more persuasive to his audience than clarity and simplicity. The story ends with the prior's understanding that he now has the congregation's administration, even though they may not genuinely understand his word. The next, we move on to the second story. The title is The Veteran by Stephen Crane in 1866. The character in this story is Henry Fleming, his elder man who recounts his youthful experience of fear in the battle of his grandson, Jimmy. Henry, initially admitting to running from his first battle out of fire, surprises Jimmy, who respects him deeply. The story also includes a Sweetworks who borrows Henry's horse, later returns intoxicated and alert everyone to a fire in the barn. The plot revolves around the Henry's journey from admitted fear to ultimate bravery. It begins with him confessing his battle experience to Jimmy in a village grocery store. This conversation contrasts with his later courage actions when he tries to save animals from a fire. After the Swedes warned about the barn fire, Henry, despite his age, risked his life to save the trapped animals. After successfully rescuing many, he learned that 2 colts remained inside. Despite warnings, he re-entered the burning barn to save them. But the roof collapses and he dies in his heroic attempt. The story ends with Henry's selfless act symbolizing that his bravery grows over time, especially in protecting the vulnerable. The third story is Beautiful of Form and Beautiful of Mind by Hans Christian Andersen in 2013. In this story has 4 main characters. The first is Alfred, a young sculptor who is protagonist. Kayla, the beautiful but shallow woman Alfred marries first. Kayla's mother, an elderly widow. Sophie, Kayla's intelligent and kind friend, who later becomes Alfred's second wife. The plot revolves around the Alfred, a talented sculptor, wins a prestigious award and scholarship that allows him to travel to Italy. When he returned to his homeland on the island of Zealand, he becomes a local celebrity. At a party held in his honor, Alfred meets Kayla, a beautiful but quiet woman who captivates him. Despite her beauty, Kayla lacks intellectual and emotional depth, which Alfred overlooks due to his infatuation. Alfred and Kayla get married, but soon after, he fails disastrous fate with their life together. Finding it shallow, eventually Kayla falls ill, and her friend Sophie steps in to help around the house. Unlike Kayla, Sophie is less beautiful but has a warm heart, intelligence, and understanding nature. Alfred and Sophie develop a deep friendship, and after Kayla's death, they marry. Through his relationship with Sophie, Alfred learns that a true happiness in marriage depends on emotional and intellectual connection rather than physical beauty. The story ends with Alfred realizing that inner qualities bring deeper fulfillment in love and life. Next is the first story, which is titled The Log by Guy de Maupassant. In the story has three main characters. The first is Old Man, the main character who reflects on his past experiences with friendship and love. Julian, the old man close friend who eventually marries Bertha. And the last character is Bertha, Julian's wife, who causes tension by expressing her feeling toward the old man. The story begins with two old friends enjoying a quiet moment in a cozy room. When a log falls from the fireplace, sparking a small fire, the man quickly handles it. Afterward, he jokes that the incident reminds him of why he never married. He recalls his part with his old friend Julian. When Julian married a woman named Bertha, their friendship changed. One evening, while alone with Bertha, he felt tempted when she expressed her interest in him. However, before the situation becoming more complicated, a log fell from the fireplace again, shifting their attention. Shortly afterward, Julian returned, saving the man from a potentially friendship damaging situation. Since then, he felt a distance growing in his friendship with Julian and decided not to marry. Fearing he might encounter a smiling experience again, the story illustrates how love and friendship can influence each other, exploring themes of loyalty, temptation, and how small designs can have a major impact on one's life. Next, we move on to the last story from Guy de Maupassant with the title is A Wedding Gift. The main character in this story is Jacquin's Bourdiller, a man who has sworn never to marry. However, his life changed when he spends time at a season one summer. While lying on the sand, he sees a young girl named Berta Lanis. The beautiful and elegance of her feet catch Jacquin's attention, and when he looks further, he finds himself captivated by Berta's entire figure, even though he can only see her ankles and her smiling face. After being introduced to Berta's family, Jacquins falls deeply in love. Every time he sees Berta's, his heart races and he feels unable to speak, despite many doubting Jacquin's fidelity due to his bad reputation and past relationship. She is determined to make Bert his wife. After a long process filled with hesitation from Bert's parents, they finally marry in Paris at the beginning of May. After the ceremony, the young couple decides again taking conventional honeymoon. Instead, they choose to spend their first night at Bert's parents' house before heading to the beach where they fall in love. As nightfall and the dance continues in the large parlor, Jacqueline and Bert sneak away to a small warm bow door. They hold each other's hands, feeling happiness in the silence until suddenly a servant brings a letter for Jacqueline. With a sense of dread, Jacqueline opens the letter and reads the bad news. His former girlfriend ravaged he's given birth to a child she claims is Jacqueline and she is on the brink of death. Feeling complete of visit his former loved, Jacqueline reaches out despite a barriers space for his to return quickly. In the sick room, he finds Rafet on the verge of death. The woman reveals that the child is indeed his and begs Jacqueline to care for the baby. In an emotional moment, Jacqueline promises to love and raise the child. Soon after, Rafid dies in front of Jacqueline in a state of confusion and sorrow. He takes the baby home unaware and the tremendous change this will brings to his life. When Jacqueline returns, worried about immediately approach him. When she sees Jacqueline holding the baby, she is shocked and asks what has happened. Jacqueline stormed as he explained that the baby's mother has just died and the now has a child. Without hesitation, Berta take the baby in her arms and vows they will raise the child together. In this difficult moment, the bond between Jacqueline and Bert grows strong even though the shadows of Jacqueline's part still loom over them. They saw a part release the challenging journey of love between Jacqueline and Bert, as well as how love can overcome a dark past. Both show a commitment to raising the child together, creating new hope in their life despite facing difficulties. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you for watching this video. That was a quick review of 5 selected short stories that I think you must read. Each story has its own unique and lessons to offer. Thank you for watching my video and the last I say bye bye.